Hey guys, it is Soncerae here. I appreciate you listening to me on Spreaker as well as following me on YouTube. A lot of people know about the current things that are happening to me right now with my baby. I will be 15 weeks, going on my 16th week on Tuesday. I'm during my 15th week now. I'll start my 16th week on Tuesday, and the drama in regards to my very, very, very public relationship with Priest is starting to explode on YouTube. Not all over the internet, just YouTube. A lot of people like to exaggerate and say, oh, this thing with YouTube, with you and a Priest is all over the internet and everyone's all in your business. No, it's just people on YouTube. Some people on Facebook know what's going on, but it's not really this big topic of discussion on Facebook. It's just people are talking about it on YouTube because I brought it to my YouTube audience, so I can save a lot of women from experiencing what I have, because I made a lot of mistakes, not the mistakes that people want to try to pin on me, but I'm very, very vocal about the mistakes that I made with Priest and the experiences that I had with him that was very, very unfortunate. And I really wish that when my first instinct, when he told me, on our first date that he was separated, that I never tried to open my mind. Like I wish I would have just misjudged him. I wish I would have just said, you know what, fuck that. Instead of being nice and kind and understanding and saying, you know what, let's see how it goes. Let's go on a couple of dates. And if I feel comfortable and if it seems like the right thing to do, I will continue to do it. I remember telling my friends about his situation, and they asked me about his behavior and was his behavior running parallel to the things that he was saying. And during that time it was, the way that a separated man acts, is similar to a single man when he's literally trying to get over, a marriage. And so, another thing that I want to discuss is my relationship with Priest's mother. Now, when Priest and I first started dating, and I was interested in meeting his family and interested in him meeting my family, and I came to him and said, hey, let's meet each other families and shit. He kind of lied to me and said that his family would judge me, because I guess he was feeling, inadequate about introducing me to his family, because he wasn't fully prepared to, tell his family the truth about him being separated from his wife at the time, because the two of them had been lying to their families about where they actually stood. They had literally been separated for 2 years and dating other people outside of their marriage, but hadn't told their families this. So, I think Priest was a little hesitant. In hindsight, I'm seeing this. I think he was a little hesitant to bring me around them because of that. But during that time when we were having the discussion, he just kind of make it seem like, oh, his family wouldn't like me and blah, blah, blah. And, just trying to make me no longer, desire meeting his family. And so I said, well, listen, if I can't meet your family, you can't meet my family, and you and I don't need to be together. That's definitely a red flag right there, that we just shouldn't be together. And so he made it happen. He said, you know what, fuck it. I want to be with you. I care about you. Let's just do it. So he introduced me to his family. And after a while, I started building a relationship with his mother, because, I was living inside of the house with his mother and his grandmother. And I would just be out on that side of town because of where I lived. It was so far. Like, I lived an hour away. So when I would come out to see Priest where he was living with his, family, I would come and I would spend the night. And in mornings, his mom would come in at around 10 or 11 and want to talk. So her and I would get to talking, and it's plenty of times I expressed, concern to her about this marriage. I kept saying to her, I really, want to back out of this situation if he's still connected to, his ex-wife. And I said this to his mom, and she was just like, no, you don't have to worry. And you should still, you could still be in a relationship. I know my son. I know he's not interested in her anymore. He really wants to be with you, and blah, 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 XYZ. And I'm looking like, okay, like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, you can trust him. If he said he's done with her, he's definitely done with her. He's not going to turn around and be back with her. I know my son. I know it. And it bothers me when women, who don't know their son say, I know my son. The same woman who said, I know my son, to me is the same woman who told my mother that she didn't know anything about my pregnancy when I did finally get pregnant. This is the same woman who told my mother that she didn't know about my pregnancy and she tries to stay out of her son's business. So I haven't really been, feeling his mom since then. Like his mother, I really miss talking to her too because I really liked her. She gossiped a lot. But, outside of her gossiping, she seemed like she mean well and she was like a positive spirit and she had a lot of energy with her and she seemed to be very happy because she was about to get married. So, when we would sit down and have conversations and, she would always just reassure me that I had made the right choice and me marrying her son was a good idea and that, she just knew that the relationship between him and his wife were over. And that I could if I just had a little bit of patience and a little bit of understanding. I mean, even his younger brother, he has a younger brother. And Priest's younger brother also came to me and said, I'm glad that you have an open mind. Ever since my brother has been in a relationship with you, he has improved and XYZ and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just all kinds of just stuff, to reassure me that Priest has decided to let go of the past. So, when people sit here and they try to judge me for, number one, dating a married man, number two, giving a married man an opportunity, number three, even getting pregnant by a married man, being around his family, being around them, reassuring me that this marriage was definitely about to be over and he was starting something new with me. I was reassured of this over and over again. I got confirmation after confirmation from Priest, from his mother, from his family that, this relationship that he had with her was over. And I expressed my concern about this marriage. I expressed my concern because I kept saying to him, if you really don't want to let go of this marriage and that's something that you want to stick to, cool, let's do that. Tell me, I'll leave you alone. And all of this time, it's been, no, I don't have to worry. I can, I'm going to let go of her. We can move forward, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly 3 weeks ago, it's now, I want to get back. I want to go on a date with my ex. This is what he was saying to me 3 weeks ago. And mind you, for the past 6 months, he's been telling me that she's not somebody I have to worry about. So, my thing is now I'm having a difficult time trusting the mother. Because people keep saying, hey, why don't you call Priest's mom? Maybe she can talk to him. Maybe she could clear it up. Maybe she could blah, blah, blah. No. Ladies, my thing is, when you get into these situations with these men and you start trying to build relationships with the women inside of their family, you still got to keep these women at arm's length. Because at the end of the day, they still always going to be on their son or their brother or their cousin's side. Okay? At the end of the day, looking back, she could have just been telling me that because she knew her son wanted to be with me at the time. It doesn't mean she was telling me the truth. And towards the end of the relationship, when Priest's family would invite us over and, invite us over to watch football or invite us over for family functions or for everybody to go out to dinner and all kinds of stuff, Priest would turn this stuff down and kind of ostracize us from the family. He started saying, well, I don't like that two-faced shit my mother is doing. And I don't like such and such. And I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about. I'm like, well, give me an example. What's going on? But he didn't want to tell me what was going on with his family. So it made it very, very difficult for me to continue to be close to his family because of the way he just made the relationship so awkward and so I don't know, it's just hard. So now that I'm pregnant and people saying, well, maybe you should talk to his mom and maybe his mom can be like a mediator between the two of you. No. And as much as I would love for my baby to be around his grandmother, because to me, she was always a sweet lady. You know what I mean? it's plenty of times, and I have her phone number. It's plenty of times I could have called her and said something. But for me, it's like, it's so much discomfort because of the situation, the environment, the aura, the energy of the situation is so ugly because priests created it that way. So when I'm talking to women about their relationships with their men, some of us, when we get in a relationship with a man, we definitely want to have a relationship with our husband or our boyfriend's mother. We want to be close, but sometimes it doesn't end up being that way. Sometimes, you can try hard and your boyfriend's mother doesn't like you, or your boyfriend's mother is difficult to talk to. It could be anything. But my advice to any woman who is dating a man who is trying to get close to her boyfriend or her husband's mother, I would say put her at arm's length. You know what I mean? Like, trust her to an extent, because you never know what her motives are. That's her son. And usually a lot of the things that her son does that's crooked or ugly or childish or whatever, she don't know nothing about. Trust me. Because a man, his mother knows him as a son. She doesn't know him as a husband. She doesn't know him as a boyfriend. So he could be doing a shitload of ugly things and mom won't even know. So I say, don't trust the gossiping moms. Don't trust the two-faced moms. Don't trust the moms that's way too nice, because they secretly hiding something about how they feel behind that. And I really, really, really suggest that a woman not trust a man who says shit like, I know my son. Because honestly, she really doesn't. The way you do. Trust me.